My name is Grace and I'm the founder of OneFarm Tech. In 2006, I accompanied my mom to the local farmers market where I witnessed something interesting yet sad. My mom bought a basket of tomato for a shocking cheap price that even as a child, I knew to be over 200% more expensive in cities like Lagos. I never forgot the experience, but rather I started learning about the unfair and overwhelming dominance of middlemen in the agricultural supply chain in Nigeria. In 2019, I ventured into full-time farming where I focused mostly on the supply of farm produce from farmers to consumers around Nigeria. And during that time, I encountered some of the problems I've encountered over 14 years ago. Some of the problems are the problems of fragmentation, high rates of insecurity in the rural areas, a lack of logistics for transportation of farm produce. And OneFarm Tech was conceived as a solution to cut down fragmentation while connecting the farmers directly to the consumers around Nigeria, to reduce the risks of excessive movement for buyers around Nigeria, and of course to provide a cheap logistics option, which OneFarm intends to partner with farm logistics companies around Nigeria for that purposes. How our products work, currently OneFarm is being run offline, but when our online platform comes to life, what will happen is farmers who have account with us would be able to upload their farm produce on the platform. And once they've been confirmed by OneFarm, they will be made visible to the public, while the consumers can easily browse available farm produce, compare and review prices, select and pay for their choice farm produce. The agricultural market is said to have an enormous opportunity at the moment, and the African market is estimated to be worth $1 trillion by 2030, while the Nigerian market is currently valued at $117 billion. OneFarm initial target market is 0.2% of the current Nigerian market size, which is $2.3 million. Over the past year, OneFarm has successfully processed a minimum of 60 orders weekly, and we have equally connected over 20 rural farmers, vegetable farmers to be precise, with over 50 buyers around Nigeria. And our financial model is simple. We charge a 15% on every successful transaction that goes through our platform. Our financial projection for the next 3 years is as follows. For the first year, we project $420,000. By the second year, $1.4 million, and by the third year, $2.3 million. And of course, we're being conservative with our numbers. OneFarm believes that competition only brings efficiency, and as such, we have identified Secure, Agro Center, and Twiga as our competitors around Africa. Our competitive advantage, of course, is that we provide the farmers with an alternative market for them to sell their farm produce, financial inclusion because they get to decide how much they sell their farm produce, and of course, an opportunity for them to sell their farm produce even ahead of harvest. OneFarm is asking for a pre-seed round that would enable us expand our marketing team and equally develop our products when we go online. We're equally looking for partners that would help us educate farmers on alternative farming method that will increase productivity and efficiency in the sector. Our roadmap so far, in 2020, OneFarm was able to onboard farmers on our offline system that we use currently. We've equally been able to recruit some team members that should be joining us soon. And for 2021, for our first quarter, we look for completing our partnership deals that we're already talking to microfinance bank and logistics company. And by the second quarter, we look to launch our beta version of the platform and equally onboard 50 farmers and get weekly orders of 200 orders. And by the last quarter of 2021, we hope to be able to deliver 500 weekly orders and onboard 200 farmers. For our team, OneFarm is made up of myself currently, who is the CEO and the founder. I have a good working knowledge of the agricultural sector in Nigeria, and I believe in using technology to solve some of the problems that have dominated the sector. I have my quality control officer who helps me check with the farmers that our goods meet the standard that we promise our customers to deliver. We equally have our CTO and a product developer that should be joining us before the end of this year. And our advisory team is the LabEight African team, which is made up of awesome individuals that will help advise us throughout our journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. As the audience starts to fill in questions, ask questions, I have one for you. Okay. I know you mentioned this in your pitch, but can you give us more information and detail on OneFarm's target markets, please?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, for OneFarm target market, first we have the farmer aspect, and then we have the consumer aspect. For the farmer, we're looking at rural farmers. We're targeting rural farmers in Nigeria who don't have access to a market. And then on the consumer hand, we're looking at B2B businesses, say hotel, restaurants, those type of people, and equally households, bigger households will equally be our target market. Thank you.
Thanks, Grace.
Grace, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm sure since you're dealing with produce, there might be issues with bad orders or produce that isn't up to standard. This stuff happens. How do you usually deal with these types of situations, especially that, you know, Nigeria is a massive market and things can take, you know, can cause issues.
Okay, thank you. For our bad order, what we've been dealing with so far offline is we replace those bad orders for our customers. But what we're going to do moving forward, which we're already working on it, is insurance policies where those farm produce can be insured. And the good news is we have a good number of companies that are interested in doing that with us.
Got it. And in regards to your target market, you work with both on a B2C and B2B front, like hotels, restaurants, and also families. How have you seen, or how would you split your market in terms of percentage between families and between the B2B, and which one do you think you'll end up focusing more on next year?
Okay, currently is 60 to 40%, 60 to the B2B and 40 to the B2C. But moving forward, because we're looking at more coverage now, and if we have, of course, OneFarm, when we expand, we'll have more hands to help. So we'll be able to take more on the B2B. So next year, we look forward to having more of a 70 to 80% B2B and 30 to 20% of a B2C.
All right, fantastic. Oh, we've got a question. Okay. From Ali. He says, great presentation. This seems to be direct-to-consumer model. How do you handle fresh fruit with small orders? Wouldn't shipping costs be way too high?
Okay, thank you. What we currently do is we take orders twice a week to different locations. So that kind of limits to the number of time you can order. So for the small orders, yeah, we do have small orders, but we have like 2, 3, 4 small orders going to the same location. So it kind of mitigates in that sense. So we restrict the number of days we take those type of orders.
And what about shipping costs?
Oh yeah, for the shipping costs, currently we have our own vehicle we use, and in specific cases we use second-party companies. So in some cases, if you buy a large quantity, OneFarm you get your delivery free, but for smaller quantities, the consumers get to pay for it.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you.
While we wait for more questions coming in, oh, we've got one. From Thanos. Great pitch, Grace. What advantage edge does OneFarm have over existing produce middlemen?
Okay, thank you. The advantage we have is the fact that we are giving the farmers an opportunity for them to have a say in selling their farm produce, unlike what we have currently, where the middlemen, what they do is they go down to those communities, underprice the farmer, buy the farm produce below the market rate, and go to the cities and sell them above the market rate. So what we're doing is we are impacting the farmers directly by giving them that power to determine the price of selling their farm produce.
Awesome, Grace. Another question from Ali. He's just wondering how the transaction works. So he's saying that do you buy from the farmer and after you get, do you buy from the farmer after you get the customer's order and then sell it to the buyer? So he just wants more insight on the transaction.
Okay, thank you. What we do is we don't buy from the start. We don't buy from the farmers. What we do is the platform will enable the farmers display whatever farm produce they have. So the consumer comes there and see what has been displayed on the platform, and they make a decision or a choice of what they want to buy. OneFarm does not buy the farm produce from the farmers, just to reiterate.
Awesome. And he's adding another question on top. So if he's asking if you process orders twice a week, doesn't it mean you actually carry inventory? So how do you store the inventory and where?
Okay, thank you. We don't at the moment. We have a working arrangement with the 20 farmers we work with. So they know for Tuesdays and Fridays our delivery days. So by Monday evening for farm produce that have a longer lifespan, they start harvesting them. But for the ones that don't, by that Monday morning, they harvest as early as possible. Then we make sure they get delivered that same Tuesday. So for now, we don't have any storage facility for that. Yes, we'll look into that in the future, but for now, we work with the farmers, so the farmers are aware that this is when this farm produce will be needed. So they're pre-arranged before the harvest date.
Awesome, thanks, Grace.
Grace, we've got Dina asking you a question. Are middlemen a problem to OneFarm Tech? How do you manage them if they're a challenge?
The middle guys, they can be a challenge, yes, but the good news is what they will try to do typically is make the farmers not cooperate with OneFarm, so to say, so they can have access to those farmers. But the good news with OneFarm is we're not restricting the farmers, rather we're giving them the power to decide. So on a very good day, you should go with the person that is giving you a choice to determine how much you're selling your farm produce as compared to someone who underpriced that farm produce. So yeah, that's a challenge, but we believe with the approach of OneFarm, that shouldn't be much of a problem.
Another question from Thanos. He's asking, since you've started operating, how quickly have you been growing month to month?
Very fast. If I may say now, sound like a bit of bragging, but right now we can actually contain the others we have. So we're trying to grow our team really quickly, so we'll be able to meet up with the others we have. So yeah, we've actually been growing month to month, and most of our marketing right now, it's been by referral. So we believe that what OneFarm is doing, it's good enough for people to refer other people to us.
And in terms of the onboarding, is the growth mostly from consumers or the farmers?
Both sides, mostly from the consumers, but the farmers as well. When we did our last outreach, we have a number of them right now that they're waiting for us to start dealing with them.
Awesome, thanks.
And we've got another question for you, Grace, from Chrissy. Nice pitch, Grace. Do you envisage any challenges with the logistics of getting produce from farmers to consumers?
Yes, that in it is a big challenge, so to say, first before I answer that. But what we're doing currently is we had a vehicle that we use for that purpose, but of course it's not enough. So we have partners that we use. There are some logistics company that they're dedicated to delivering farm produce currently in Nigeria. So we partner with them to be able to deliver the farm produce. And so far what we've been doing, yeah, we've been having some positive results. More can be done in that area, but yeah, it's working for now.
Awesome. Another question coming in, basically asking if OneFarm aims to be selling farm produce before they are ripe for production. This could be a challenge for the buyer. So how does OneFarm plan to resolve this likely challenge?
Okay, for farm produce that people want to pre-buy before the harvest date, what happens is when the consumer clicks on the farm produce, because for the farmers, what we do on the platform is for every farm produce, you can tell if it's ready right now, if it's ready 2 weeks, if it's ready 3 weeks from the harvest date. So if you have the one that is pre-ordered before the harvest date, you have to come to OneFarm. Once we notice that, we'll notify the buyer to say to him, okay, you know, this is so day before you get them, just to give them that notice. And once they're okay with it, we'll make sure it's pre-booked, and that farmer will be informed that, okay, when it's ready, this farm produce is going to this person because they've already notified their interest in buying it. And of course, they pay for the farm produce as well.
I've got a question for you from George.
Okay.
Are you trying to provide farm producers an international trade platform or exchange platform?
In the future, yes. Right now, we're just trying to start with the rural farmers and the consumers in Nigeria. But yes, that's something that OneFarm has a dream for in the future.
I think that would be fantastic.
Thank you.
And a next question from George, and this process should be automated. He's saying that this process should be automated through computer code.
Yes, it should be automated as soon as our CTO comes on board, which we hope very soon too. So yeah, it should be.
Awesome. Another question from Ali. He's asking, do customers actually save money by using your platform? So he understands the convenience of not going to the store, but what about their actual cost, including shipping?
Yes, they do. And I'll give you a quick example of that. Currently now, as we speak, the price of a basket of tomato in a rural area in Nigeria, it will go for 3,000 naira tops. And if you go to the urban areas, say Lagos, Abuja, you can buy that same basket of tomato easily for 15,000 naira. So if OneFarm, our platform, what it's doing is giving the farmer to now say, okay, I want to sell that basket of tomato directly to the consumer. You get to determine how much you're selling it on the platform. It's not going to be up to that 15,000 naira, whatever the case might be. And then we have multiple farmer accounts with the same product on the platform. So you get to choose which farmer you want to buy your farm produce from. So there's that element of competition as well.
I've got another question for you from Thanos. What is your wildest, most ambitious vision for OneFarm? It sounds like you're starting from being a farm to consumer platform, but what could OneFarm one day become?
Okay, OneFarm, I see it as a platform that one day we should be able to cater for Africa, not just Nigeria alone. Because we also realize, based on our research, that some of the African countries have some farm produce that are unique to their countries. So we would want to equally bring Africa together as well, not just Nigeria. So that's the biggest dream.
Awesome. I think that's it for questions. So thank you, Grace. Awesome job. And thank you again for the audience for the questions.
There's one more question.
Oh,
one last one that just popped in.
Okay.
Grace, have you approached Cargill with this?
No, I haven't, not at the moment.
And if someone wants to reach you, Grace, because I know your platform is everything's happening offline and you're currently in development, how can they reach you?
Okay, we have our Twitter handles, we have LinkedIn accounts, and I can through the LabEight team.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got one more question. Okay, this is the final one. What would happen to the buyers that may not be satisfied with the quality pre-harvested farm produces?
Okay, with regards to that, again, we have our refund policy, and our agreement with the farmers from the onset is whatever you're selling on the platform is subject to meeting the quality of whatever you've described on the platform. And the pre-sale is usually 3 weeks to harvest tops. That way, from 3 weeks to harvest, you should know the quality of farm produce you're going to get. So we're not giving it a lifeline of from planting. No, we're doing it when we can see visibly, this is what this is going to be. So we're not leaving it from the scratch. So we should be able to tell to an extent that, okay, in 3 weeks time, we should have this or that.